In 2014, I realised I was getting really tired all the time, and I thought there's something not right. So I went to the GP and we went through a few things and nothing came up at that point. So I knew there was something not right. Tiredness was one. Not being able to keep your eyes open is horrendous. You just feel like you haven't slept at all. That was a big one. And obviously weight gain. One week you'd be maybe a size 8, the next week you're a size 12, and then you'd go back down to a size 6. So when your weight fluctuates, you know there's an issue.
It's an organ that most people don't know that much about. It's a little butterfly-shaped gland that's at the base of your neck. Its role is to produce 2 hormones, T3 and T4, and these control the metabolism in a lot of aspects of your body. So most people don't know that it's there until there's something going wrong with it. But because it controls metabolism and controls everything from your mood, your heart rate, your temperature regulation, your bowel function, and so on. So a lot of the symptoms are quite non-specific, but it's only when you go and do the test that you work out that there's something wrong with it.
Well, I always, when I was younger, hanging around with my cousins and stuff, I always noticed that my neck was like a bit bigger than theirs, and I never knew about thyroid or anything like that. And then one day it got really extreme, and my nan and my mum decided to take me to a doctor, and it just sort of explained everything about my life, and like everything just made sense after that.
I constantly had really bad periods. Went through puberty really late, and they found out that that is a lot to do, an early sign of thyroid problems. I really believe that there's not a lot of information about thyroid. I think that it's something, thyroid mimics so many different illnesses. So unless you're really aware of thyroid, you go to a GP or a specialist, and it could be a range of things. Whereas if you really know lots of information about thyroid, you can go in there and eliminate so much time and test and just ask for a thyroid test.
I found out I had a problem with my thyroid basically when it was sort of twofold. I was doing a welding course and I had the shakes, and I've always had a really steady hand. And then at that same time, we caught up with some friends for a brunch, and I had a coffee. Now, coffee normally stimulates you, but with me, it put me to sleep almost. It was almost like, ugh, you know, I just sort of, and then I went to the doctors and my thyroid levels were off the chart. But I think, looking back, that I've probably potentially had it since childhood.
My mum had a possible thyroid cancer issue at the start of this year. So when Mum was diagnosed and told that there was a possible issue there, I tried to find information, and there was just so much that it was kind of confusing. And because there's different types of thyroid issues, I think that was the hardest part, was what do I look for? Because Mum didn't know what she had really. So what exactly is it that I need to be looking at to find more information?
I actually didn't have any symptoms at all. Obviously there was a large lump in my throat, but I didn't have any symptoms at that time, and so I had been investigated quite a bit, and it was I saw quite a number of specialists, and so there were conflicting information about what I should do with it. So they decided that it needed to be removed, but then I discovered that I was having my second child, so they weren't able to remove it.
So without a healthy thyroid gland, your health will deteriorate. It can be very insidious and it can happen slowly, and a lot of people don't recognise specifically that it could be a thyroid disorder. I would have to say that people are definitely more aware these days of the thyroid and its role, but it's identifying the symptoms and connecting all the dots that's the important thing. People can help the Australian Thyroid Foundation if they do have a thyroid disorder by becoming a member. That's what we want Australians to do. We want Australians to connect to the organisation and learn about all the information we have available. So for more information about thyroid disease, please visit our website. And be kind to your thyroid and make sure you don't overlook any symptoms.